Greg Albernaz. First season as the Orioles manager, and not off to a great start, but they got a pretty good team. I think they're going to be competitive all year.
All right, so they flip-flop things here at the top. Taylor Ward has been leading off, but for the first time this season, Gunnar Henderson, he will lead off for the Orioles, followed by Ward, Rutschman, Pete Alonso, the Polar Bears DHing, O'Neill, Mountcastle Beavers, Gubby Mayo, and Blaze Alexander at second.
And there's a look at today's starter, who's in his own mind pretending it's the second inning, not the first inning. And as you can see, a couple of games, one start. ERA very good at 3.60. Last time out, the stuff was just outstandingly good. So the four-seam fastball is something he leans on, and when he can keep it in the zone, he'll be able to get ahead. The knuckle curve backs it up with the sinker, the slider, and don't look for too many changeups. The key matchups: Ryan Mountcastle 3 for 4, Taylor Ward 2 for 6, Gunnar Henderson, who's had a pretty good series with a homer in each game, 1 for 3. Let's take a look at the defense. It's Andrew, Tristan, and Dustin in the outfield as Dustin Harris gets a start. It's Colson, Luis Hill, Chase, and Munataka. Reese McGuire's got the plate, and we told you about Sean Burke. Our weather's presented by Four Seasons, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric, and 58 degrees, which seems like Florida weather, feels like 47.
So much nicer than the first two games of this series. Sean Burke, his first pitch, dots the zone, strike one.
Willie Traynor behind the plate calls strikes 14% below major league average away to left-handers.
Gunnar Henderson rips this one down the line. Back-to-back games with home runs, and he was the difference maker in the ball game yesterday. Game tied at 2 apiece. A 2-run shot in the 8th. That was the difference, and a 4-2 win for the Orioles. 0-2 here for Burke.
One of the things that both the catcher and the pitcher have to look at is any adjustments with the feet placement of any hitter pitch to pitch. And with Henderson, and a lot of people try to stay away from him, if he believes you're going to stay away, he'll do what a lot of hitters will do. Just creep up a touch on the plate to try to take away the outside corner.
Grounded up the middle. It is Acuna at short. And he throws out Gunnar Henderson to start this ball game. So good start here for Sean Burke. We know how much the bullpen has been used over this past week, and they really need to see him go deep into this game.
Well, they'd love to see exactly what he did last time, only this time in a starter role. He went 6 innings. So you get 18 outs, you really help protect that pen.
So Taylor Ward, who has been the leadoff hitter for this Orioles team, bats in the 2-hole here today.
One of the reasons why a deep outing would be preferable is that Kansas City has been tough on our boys historically, and you got a 4-game series there.
Well, the fastball command is on point early on here for Sean Burke.
Not surprising that Ward would take a couple of pitches, because he probably takes more pitches than anybody in the league. That was interesting. That was a four-seam fastball that actually looked like a cutter. I think the hand position must have slipped, because he doesn't have that kind of movement on that fastball. So you see the grip, and all of a sudden this ball just takes off.
So Burke resets for his 1-2. A bloop into right field, and it's going to fall in front of Harris. It was going to be a tough play off the bat as Taylor Ward, the first hit here in this ball game.
Well, Harris and every other outfielder know the same thing, and that is that the ball is going to slice away toward the line. Ward doesn't get a whole lot of it. Didn't think it was going to land fair for some reason, or thought it was going to be caught. Nice job with the bare hand of making sure that one doesn't get by, and Ward is standing on first instead of second.
Here's Adley Rutschman. The catcher batting .292 on the season. He has reached base safely in each of his first 7 games to open the season. Last year, Adley Rutschman reached base safely in his first 14 games. So these are guys that get on base. They can hit for power. This is a very dangerous Orioles lineup that hasn't quite clicked to start the season.
And for Rutschman, he came out of Oregon State, and he was 1-1. First player picked in the draft. So we'll take a look at Rutschman Henderson and the combination. 43 games. They've hit a combined .301 with 7 home runs, 27 driven in, and 36 runs scored. Done quite the job, and when you can find a switch hitting catcher as good as Rutschman, you do take him 1-1.
What a draft the Orioles had in that 2019 draft. Rutschman was the first overall pick. The second round, they went with Gunnar Henderson, and they hit on both of those guys.
It's somewhat surprising Henderson made it to the second round, but as he's matured, he's probably filled out some, probably shows a little more power now than when he was an amateur player, and a whole lot of teams passed on him that are probably a little disappointed that they did.
White Sox fans are thinking maybe this is our year to hit in the draft. White Sox with the #1 overall pick coming up.
And this is a draft that's heavy on shortstops. So most likely the #1 pick will be a shortstop from someplace or somewhere out west.
Fastball froze him. First strikeout for Sean Burke.
Rutschman could not pull the trigger, but he knows it's a strike. It had a good part of the plate. Somehow he takes this one, and that's good because it filled up the zone.
Here's Pete Alonso batting under 200 to start this season here for the Orioles. And Sean Burke, a called strike to start each of the first 4 hitters that he has faced.
Once again, it is a good curveball, although it'll get better as he moves along. But the fastball is pretty lively, and he's locating it very well.
A 1 pitch to Alonso. Big acquisition in the offseason. Pete Alonso coming over from the Mets. But on this road trip, 1 for 20 against Pittsburgh and now here the White Sox.
I think historically it's a little more difficult for a power hitter to get that rhythm, get everything coordinated earlier than little slop hitters. Contact guys, they don't need a whole lot of adjustment to a major league season, but the big power guys will see the ball better, get better swings as they move along. Except for Judge and Ohtani.
1-2. I also think once it gets warmer in Camden Yards, where they've already moved the fences in, it could be a monster year for Pete Alonso.
Well, he's enormously strong. He doesn't need the fences any closer than he has them, because hitting in the new ballpark for the Mets is not easy, and he makes it look small.
1-2 again. Sean Burke looking to have a scoreless first inning.
Looks like he's changing speeds on the curveball. That's really a very good thing to do, because you can get a hitter might be guessing curveball, especially after his last outing when they saw the video. But you can guess curveball, you just can't guess the speed of it. And that confuses it, and you can see how many different speeds he's used in this sequence.
2-2. And another one fouled away by Pete Alonso. Well, hopefully with the warmer conditions that we're seeing here today, maybe we'll see some more runs scored The first two games, a combined 9 runs scored between the White Sox and the Orioles. The pitchers have been dominant in the cold weather.
We haven't done a whole lot historically with Kyle Bradish, but there's been a couple of starts and he's been dominant in both.
2 balls, 2 strikes. This one put in play to third. It is Montgomery. Long toss over. A good start for Sean Burke as the White Sox bats coming up when we come back. Sox chase Mydroth, and we look at the average exit velocity. Munetaka Murakami, he is just ripping the baseball to start this season. Back in the starting lineup at first base here today. Benny's in left, Harris is in right. White Sox looking for some more production out of the outfield.
And we'll take a look at Kyle Bradish. Normally, most hitters don't like to see him. 8 2/3 innings over 2 starts. They're easing him in. His ERA is up over 6. The command hasn't been there since he's come back from Tommy John surgery, and that's what he's going to use. The slider sinker combination with the occasional curveball. When that's right, it's really good.
First pitch here to Chase Mydroth as Kyle Bradish fires in a fastball for strike 1. White Sox have really loved the look of Chase Mydroth here this season. Banged up to end last year. Really worked on his body all offseason. As Brooke will have more on Chase Mydroth later in this game and what he did to get himself in a really good spot this year.
Well, he also uses all fields, which really helps him make contact and keep that batting average up.
On 1. Grounded to second. It is Alexander's sidearm toss. And Mydroth is retired. It is time for our live lines to watch, presented by Circa Sportsbook. Sports betting the way it should be. We check out the odds for White Sox home run hitters today. All right, some long shots out there. Steve, who do you like here?
I'm going to go with the longest of the shots. Andrew Benintendi plus 875. He's had some good at-bats lately, and hopefully can carry it over today against Bradish.
You're always looking for the value play. I like that.
You got to do that, and also I like the way he swung the bat a couple of games ago, and maybe on a warmer day, even though the wind will be swirling, he can take advantage of it down the line and right.
Murakami breaks his bat. A sliding play by Alexander makes the throw from the grass.
Let's take a look at the defense and how they're going to line up behind Bradish. It's Ward, Beavers, and O'Neill in the outfield left to right with Mayo, Henderson, Alexander, and Mountcastle. Adley Rutschman's got the plate. We told you about Bradish, who at his best is very good. Alexander's had a really good series, both with the glove and the bat. He's making a big pitch to play each and every one of these days.
For whatever reason, the Orioles have just had the White Sox number the last few years. Since last year, Orioles have won the last 8 games in a row, and Orioles pitchers an ERA of 2 over the course of that span.
Since coming back from the Tommy John, Bradish, who normally gets ahead of everybody, is not throwing a great percentage of first pitch strikes. The disparity is almost 14%, and that shouldn't be happening to a guy with his kind of stuff.
He's got that herky-jerky motion as he comes to the plate, fires in that one. Strike 1 here to Miguel Vargas.
When Bradish is behind in the count, he mostly throws off-speed pitches. 58% of the time you can look for soft stuff.
Righties are hitting Kyle Bradish much better than lefties here to start this season. Let's see if Miguel Vargas keeps that trend going. So the other thing that could come into play as all my papers get blown around the booth, there is a strong wind gust blowing around the ballpark here. You look at the flags, they are blowing in, but as we know, that may not be the best indication of what it's actually doing.
No, that's that swirling wind, the capricious wind, is something that you can look up at the flags. You know approximately how hard the wind is blowing, but you can't tell where it's going to carry and where it's not going to carry.
2 outs in this first inning. 3-2 pitch to Vargas, and he fouls it away. With Acuna playing shortstop today, and Montgomery moving over to third, Vargas getting the DH position. Looks at that fastball, strike 3. Sox retired in order, and Sean Burke a return to the bump. 23 pitches in that first inning, but he was effective. Let's see how he does. We're enjoying the warmer temperatures here at the ballpark. The White Sox play better in warmer weather. In weather that's colder than 45 degrees, dating back to last year, White Sox just 1-7.
Yeah, they are very happy that that wind, which is mostly blowing in, has brought in some warmer temps. And they will be following us to Kansas City to a certain extent, as will some rain periodically.
We start this second inning scoreless. This half inning is brought to you by Wintrust. It was brutally cold. I mean, I said it yesterday on the broadcast. Shout out to all the fans who came out as Tyler O'Neill is plunked.
He's thrown a fastball, and it catches him off the guard. With McGuire setting up inside, there was nothing intentional about that. He was just trying to get it up and in, and hitters seem to be unhappy when that happens. He hit him well, but a padded area, he's not going to feel that.
Well, we already saw a dust-up in baseball last night. In Anaheim, the Angels and Braves, they were throwing haymakers at each other. Jorge Soler
and our
Ronaldo Lopez.
Our Lopey got involved in that.
Oh, he did more than just get involved.
Soler threw some haymakers.
Lopey threw a punch with a baseball in his hand.
But fortunately, he hit him off the helmet. I'm not sure if you're swinging a guy, you probably want to miss that helmet.
So Soler unhappy with the up and in. They're just swinging haymakers. But how about Walt Weiss? The manager for the Braves comes in with the tackle. And when he was asked about it after the game, he said, I love Soler, but that's a big man. I just felt like I had to get him off his feet, because if not, he was going to hurt somebody.
Well, he was throwing punches with bad intentions. Looked like UHF for a second there, with more guys in the ring.
Oof, buddy. So left side, Colts Montgomery gets one at second. Meidroth not in time, as that one was not hardly hit.
Was a good effort, but a slow developing play. We'll watch right at the base. Mountcastle is not known to have great speed, at least hustling down the line and able to beat the play. Watch him down the line. I mean, again, he doesn't have great speed, but he's giving it everything he's got. And managers love that from their players.
Can you remember the last time a manager got that involved in a brawl? Walt Weiss getting in there, just a spear taking down the player like that?
Usually that doesn't happen, but that will get you added respect in your clubhouse.
Oh, that is no doubt. Two of the count. As fastball in there, strike one to Dylan Beavers, who's in center field today.
He's off to a pretty good start this year, starting to get more play, especially against the right-handed starters.
Once again, Reese McGuire is behind the plate catching Sean Burke. And Reese McGuire now should be pretty acclimated with the pitching staff after being signed late in spring training for the White Sox.
And when we talked to Will about that, he said that it's too early for personal catchers. It's just this is the luck of the draw.
How'd you feel about that? Did you build a relationship with one catcher over the other, or did you not really care who you threw to?
I wanted two things from a catcher. One, block every low pitch, so they threw a lot of curveballs in the dirt. And two, give me a glove that pops. Don't give me one of those that absorbs the baseball where you think you're throwing into a pillow and you also think you're throwing 30 miles an hour. So if it pops, it gives you the illusion like it's harder than it was, gives you a little more confidence. So a popping glove was essential.
He said, here's a little extra something to rub on that leather.
Oh, I'm throwing hard today. Ooh.
I like that. Runner goes 3-2. Ball 4. The throw doesn't matter. Let's go to Brooke for her scoop from the clubhouse.
John, you guys mentioned how taxed this bullpen is, and they used 5 arms out of the pen yesterday in Shane Smith's start, which was part of the reason why they decided to send him down. But Will Venable said, listen, it's not sustainable how we're using them, and we had to do something. So they call up a guy like Tyler Schweitzer. He considers himself almost like a utility arm, just how he can be used in different spots. He's versatile, he's stretched out, and he is well rested. Last night, he was supposed to go 3 innings before he got scratched. So if they need him, he'll be ready today, guys.
But Brooke, did I hear that he was a Cubs fan growing up? Is that what he told us in the clubhouse today?
You may or may not have heard that, but he, of course, is a White Sox fan, and I've heard he has like 20 family members that drove from Indiana that's here. So, yeah, I might go pay them a visit later in the game.
All right, as long as they're wearing White Sox gear here, we're all good.
Yeah.
We went to talk with him before the game, and that smile on his face might be there for a couple of weeks. He was ecstatic about getting an opportunity, as anybody would be. And having your family at your first major league game that's a pretty nice thing. The White Sox consistently do that. And of course, for the parents, it just thrills them.
We think the dream of little leaguers around the country. You're playing this game to eventually get out here and get your chance as a big leaguer. So to get that call and to have your family be able to make that trip, it's a thrill of a lifetime. One-two pitch from Burke. Good job by McGuire keeping that in front.
Reese has got pretty good technique. He's been at it a long time, known as a very good defensive catcher. This is a breaking ball in the dirt. And catchers will occasionally make a mistake of overcompensating because that ball goes in the opposite direction after it hits the dirt. Reese does a nice job of corralling it, making sure it doesn't get by.
Blew it by him. McGuire holding on to the foul tip. Second strikeout for Burke.
Goes to his four-seamer and threads the needle on the outside corner. This is perfect location. And he throws it by Mayo. That was a look of, how did I miss that one?
It's been a good start to the season for their super utility man, Blaze Alexander. A .320 batting average.
They certainly knew he could field. I think this is a revelation for him if he can continue this kind of production.
A pop of the mitt just like that.
That's it. That's what you need. Wow, I'm throwing hard today. Some young fans enjoying a lot better temperatures at the ballpark today than it's been, especially in the Baltimore series.
It's nice we can come with just a hoodie and not the extra coat on top. 0-2. Velocity starting to get up there. Burke was sitting around 94. That one popped at 96.
I like the elevation because it wasn't really all that hittable, but it looked at 0-2 inviting enough to maybe get a swing, but he didn't get one from Alexander.
1-2. Rate is a proud partner of the 2026 White Sox. The Rate app gives Chicago fans an all-in-one wellness app with tools to build financial strength and guidance for fitness and stress management. Feel better, live better, play better. Two on, two out in this top of the second inning. Burke deals. In the air to right field. Harris in foul territory, runs out of room. First time for Harris manning right field here at right field. So he's going to have to figure out the wind and how it reacts to the ball.
Well, he saw that ball started off in fair territory, and the wind just got a hold of it and took it into the seats. It is pretty stout today.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's starting to shift. It's kind of blowing toward the left field corner.
One-two from Burke. A lot of foul pitches we have seen already. Burke has been ahead in the count, but 23 pitches he threw in the first inning, now up to 47 overall in this ball game.
Not conducive to a very long outing, but maybe as he moves along, you'll start to get some early swings, especially throwing a lot of strikes.
10 pitches already fouled off. Make that 11. It does mean that Sean Burke is around the zone, and in spring training that was one of the focuses for him, harnessing that command. As he looks to put away the 9-hole hitter Blaze Alexander. 1-2 on the ground to the right side. Mydroff, and the Sox will strand those runners at first and second. We are scoreless here in Chicago. Baseball, and in his 2 career starts against the White Sox, he has been lights out.
Well, 20 strikeouts and a 1.00 whip. That shows you the dominance. 12 innings. Sox have done very little with him. But this version of Bradish after Tommy John so far is good, but not quite as good as he was before. And I say that because location hasn't been the same. He used to stay on top. He used to throw 58% first pitch strikes. Then he went down to in the lower 40s to at least start this season. So they're hoping he comes back with that same command, which was overwhelming most of the time.
It's hard to believe this is the 70th start of his career, but this could be, if he loses this game, it would be the first time in his career that he loses 3 straight outings. Lost against the Twins and the Pirates to start this season.
Not the kind of start you'd like, but he's going to get better the longer he goes. By longer, I mean the more starts he gets, he's going to be able to sharpen up a lot of the pitches, because normally his control is among the best. Just hasn't been lately, but it doesn't diminish the stuff. The stuff is still very good.
Colson Montgomery leads off this bottom of the second. As the White Sox trying to get something going, retired in order in the first inning. Offense has been stifled by these Orioles pitchers, scoring just 1 run in the opening game of the series on Monday, 2 runs yesterday. Love to break out of that here on Wednesday.
Pretty tough customer though in Bradish, but if he gets behind, you can get to anybody. In the last 3 years, Bradish has struck out 29% of the left-hand hitters he's faced. That's among the best in baseball.
2-2. Let's go to Connor for some news and notes.
All right, John, yesterday Dodgers starter Yoshinobu Yamamoto was booed by Blue Jays fans. It did not faze him. It has never faced him. He's faced the Blue Jays a bunch, especially the World Series, and come up big each and every time out. Yesterday, Yankees manager Aaron Boone played a hunch. He went to Ahmed Rosario despite his having played just 3 games. Rosario went out for 2 home runs against the A's. Pirates starter Paul Skeens seems to have figured some things out. 6 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts against the Padres last night.
You know, it's hard to imagine that Blue Jays fans would boo the Dodgers in Toronto. I can't understand why they'd want to do that.
No, me neither. I mean, they hardly ever play them.
Oh.
Might still be some residual bitterness from last year. Just a little residual bitterness.
Got it. Hit hard, and Benintendi down the right field line. He will dig for second as the ball kicking around. Benintendi's going 3. The throw to third, offline. Benintendi with a triple.
If I'm Jersley and knows that I have $875 on a home run, I got to send him. Put the pressure on the defense. Send him. Now he's thinking 2 as the ball caroms away, and Benny hits the ball hard. Here he knows he's got a double, but now he starts thinking, you know what? I think I can run this into a triple.
Couple things there. You love to see the legs healthy for Benintendi. Also, how about this one? A single into center as Dustin Harris will drive in his first run as a member of the White Sox. And your Sox take a 1-0 lead.
You certainly can't beat this. He gets a high fastball, doesn't get a whole lot of it, but gets enough of it. And Sox have a 1-0 lead. Nice job of going back to possibly re-tag the bag for a sacrifice, but it fell.
Love to see the new addition to the ball club coming through in his first start in right field. Now Harris taking off. No throw, a stolen base.
Bradish never really looked at him, and Harris took advantage of it. We'll watch it again. He actually was running while Bradish still had the ball in his hand.
With all the injuries to the White Sox outfielders, Dustin Harris getting an opportunity as that one is bunted foul.
Let's hope it hit him in the box, and I'm pretty sure it did. We'll take another look. It did. He was fully in the batter's box, so it's just a foul ball.
Acuna, who's been playing a lot of center field, the start at shortstop today, which is his better position defensively. Join us at the ballpark on Friday, April 24th, as the White Sox take on the Washington Nationals at 6:30. 10,000 fans will receive this, a Miguel Vargas bobblehead presented by Fanatics. Plus, it's the first City Connect Friday of the season. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos. So the White Sox strike first, continue this trend of scoring in the first 3 innings of a ball game.
Good habit to get into.
2-2. On the ground up the middle into center field. Harris, he will be waved in and will score easily. RBI single for Acuna, and the Sox a 2-0 lead over the O's.
First run driven in. And he gets a breaking ball straight over the top, but stays right with it. Good head position. It was right down on the ball. That ball was moving away from him, but he drove it right back up the middle, and Harris scores easily. Well, the man who had tormented the Sox through 2 starts, not so much today, and 1 through 5, a total of 30 runs. I think you can see Bradish doesn't have the command that he had, because the last 2 times, and specifically the last time that he threw, he was overwhelming, and going to be a while coming back from Tommy John till that great stuff is there.
Reese McGuire slashes this one to left field. Ward did not get a good jump off the bat, and it's going to fall. 4 straight hits for the White Sox here in this second inning.
He throws a fastball. It caught too much of the plate, and Reese just dumps it into left field. Ward didn't read it that well off the bat. Tough play anyway as Rutschman goes out there. He's not used to seeing Bradish give up 4 straight hits anywhere at any time.
Bradish came back last season from Tommy John. He made 6 starts with the Orioles, going 1-1 with an ERA just over 2.5. But to your point, just has not returned to that dominant form that we're so used to seeing from him.
No, I'm sure he will. It's just going to take a while.
Tristan Peters batting in the 9-hole, shows bunt, putting pressure on the D, and nobody covering first base. An infield single.
We've seen him bunt to both sides, and right now every third baseman is in on the grass, but not so the first baseman here. Mountcastle was way back, and the coordination between the first and second baseman is essential there, because the second baseman, if he's not playing up the middle, has got to get to the bag because the pitcher can't.
His development with bunting starting back in spring training has been incredible, that he's able to implement it here in big league games. Infield playing even with the bags, with the bases loaded, 1 out in the second.
Well, take a look at what Peters saw, and he saw Mountcastle way back at first. He also saw Mayo in on the grass. Great bunt. Once you get it by the pitcher, it's almost an impossible play if you force the first baseman to field it.
That is now 5 straight hits from the bottom half of this lineup for the White Sox.
I would say you'd be hard pressed to find another instance where he gave up 5 hits in a row. That's how good his stuff was. That was a nice pick by Rutschman. That one he had to backhand, and he was able to pick it clean. Infield in at all 4 positions.
2 balls and a strike to count here to Chase Mydroth. White Sox trying to break this one open early on. 2-2. On the ground to short. This could be 2. 1 at second, over to first, and a double play will get out of the inning, but the White Sox score 2 and lead it after 2. First time through the lineup for Sean Burke. Gave up 1 hit against the Orioles as he faces Gunnar Henderson, who grounded out to short. We look about what Gunnar Henderson has done in this series. Home runs in back-to-back games, and he's doing what he is doing against left-handed relievers. He is the only left-handed hitter in Major League Baseball this season with 2 home runs off left-handed relievers.
That shows you how much talent he has, and the talent is every facet of the game. He's just a solid player.
Close pitch there. But it was a good call by Willie Traynor behind the plate.
And a good no call by McGuire.
It does seem like, as we take a look at the 2 home runs first starting on Monday for Henderson.
Well, that was a blast. That coming off Eric Fetty and turned out to be the deciding run of the game. And yesterday, He just unloads on one. This a line drive rocket out of the park. It was not an easy day to hit home runs yesterday.
Ooh, Gunnar Henderson's got some words as he tosses that bat. Wonder what that was about. Let's go to Brooke as she empties out her notebook.
Well, you got to hold on Gunnar Henderson here because I do have some injury updates for you. Everson Pereira, he is getting close. He told us that he's hitting in the cage, but is likely going to go on a rehab assignment. For Kyle Teal, that next step for him was hitting. He was doing some tee work in the cage yesterday, and you know, although he is making progress, you got to be careful with that hamstring. And staying with the catchers, Edgar Carroll was really honest with us yesterday about his slow start. He said he is making the adjustments and he feels like he's getting close, but for him it's just staying on that fastball. But really for this lineup as a whole, guys, they did such a great job versus Toronto, and you didn't really see it translate versus the Orioles here. Although I will say Will Venable has to be happy with how they strung together some good ABs there in the second.
Yeah, certainly like to see 5 straight hits. White Sox 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position that last inning.
And you have to watch Henderson closely because he will run, although it's only 1 of 2 this year. But the entire team only has 4 stolen bases in 8 attempts. And when you're running at 50%, you have a tendency not to run that much. But Henderson is one of those guys that will.
Burke takes a peek at him. 0-2.
Sox fans, 160 games on Chicago Sports Network means you won't miss a moment this season. CHSN is your TV home for White Sox baseball. Stream every game live on the app, plus pre and post game coverage and full game replays on demand. Start your 7-day free trial today at subscribe.chsn.com. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead. Ward almost ducked into that curveball that hung inside. Was able to get out of the way.
We are seeing a ton of pitches already. That's 60 pitches from Sean Burke with nobody out here in the third.
I think to stay out of the double play, we're going to see Henderson running. Sean has given up 4 stolen bases, and that's tied for second in the major leagues.
That one is hit hard into left field. Gunnar Henderson. They're going to wave him in from third. The throw from Benintendi. Acuna will put it in his pocket. An RBI double for Taylor Ward as the Orioles are on the board.
We'll watch it again. This is down, a breaking ball, and Ward goes and gets it. His 7th driven in. Henderson has good speed, but the relay throw from Benny to Acuna doesn't stay in the air the whole way. They're going to take a gamble early, and it pays off.
It was interesting they decided to flip-flop these guys in the batting order, but to your point, when you've got a guy like Gunnar Henderson who has that kind of speed, you can hit him number 1 in the order.
Well, he also is their biggest power source at this point. But because he will occasionally steal a base, they felt left-hander against a right-hander better to lead off and then turn it to Ward in the 2 spot.
Adley Rutschman struck out looking his first at bat of the ball game. Two from Burke, and that one gets away from Reese McGuire, so Ward will take third.
We'll take another look at it. This is a 4-seam fastball. It's up. Karam is off the glove of McGuire, so we'll see what the call is. giving him a wild pitch.
So the infield for the Sox will come in with nobody out here in the third. Breaking ball, Cunha dives, grabs it. He will make the throw, but Ward will score from third, and we now have a tie ball game.
Just the third driven in by Rutschman. And we'll start this one over again, tied at 2. Nice play by Acuna. Shows you that he's been at shortstop quite a bit. Smothers a short hop and a good enough arm to gun him down at first.
One of the issues for the Orioles offense, especially in the first 2 games of this series, leaving runners on base. They left 14 runners on base the first 2 games, but they have been effective here early on, tying this game in the 3rd inning.
You knew this one would be a little more offensive with the weather conditions. I mean, not only the wind blowing, but it's warmer than it's been, and hitters certainly like that. Last couple of days been tough to score runs in this series.
Pete Alonso grounded out his first time up in an 8-pitch at bat against Burke. This one a little quicker, gets the strikeout for out number 2.
You see, McGuire wanted a fastball upstairs. He wanted it on the inner portion. This is out away and equally as effective.
So it's 3 strikeouts now for Sean Burke against 2 walks he's given up, as he misses down against Tyler O'Neill. Into shallow center field. It is Meidroth calling for it, and we'll end this top of the 3rd. The Orioles score 2, and we're tied.
You're looking at the average metrics on Munetaka Murakami's 4 home runs so far this season. Only 3 players have hit 5. Murakami's barrel rate and hard hit rate are both in the 90th percentile or better. We should see the average start to rise. He's hitting some hard luck as well with a 167 batting average from balls in play. He's got a patient approach as well. The Sox really have something here in Murakami.
Safe to say he is proving the doubters wrong with what he has done here in his first 10 games with the White Sox. 4 home runs for Murakami. And the metrics back up what he is doing at the plate.
Well, that shows you how good his eye was, because that one was in the zone for quite some time before a big dip at the end, and he didn't even move his hands to offer at it.
Slow roll to the right side. It is charged by Alexander. His flip not in time, as Murakami will stay put at first.
That's going to be a base hit, undoubtedly. But a whole lot of pressure falls to Alexander. And he goes with the glove flip, and it's really difficult to not throw it over the first baseman's head. Not only is it a glove flip, but it's a backhand flip. Murakami hustling with everything he's got. That appears to be the only way he knows how to play. Leave it on the field.
Back pick at first as Murakami back at the bag safely. What an impression he has made here in Chicago in just a short time for Murakami. Comes over with all the fanfare, the stardom that he already brings from Japan, the highest paid player now on this roster. But when you see him busting it down the line like that, he set such a great example.
We've seen it in just about each and every one of the Japanese players. It's respect for the game. And they feel if they don't leave it out in the field, if they don't play every play as hard as they can, it's not respecting the game. And his work ethic is second to none. He's a hard worker.
0-2 pitch to Vargas. Goes down swinging on the breaking ball. Grab your family and head to the ballpark this season with a family pack starting at $21. Each family member gets one hot dog, drink, chips, and a cookie. For tickets, visit whitesox.com/family. I remember when I covered Korean baseball, and one of the things that stood out for me was when a pitcher hit a batter, the pitcher would walk over towards first base and bow and show a sign of respect as an apology. It's a very respectful culture baseball game in Asia.
That is a difference in culture. Used to have a pitching coach here by the name of Stan Williams. He was a big hard throwing guy, and he probably didn't miss many fights in the course of his career. So he hits Hank Aaron right on the 44. Ends the inning with the next hitter, and they're walking, and he says, "Hey, sorry, Hank." He goes, "Oh, that's okay." He says, "No, I'm sorry about hitting you in the back. I tried to hit you in the neck."
Oh my goodness.
A different game back then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it was also going into second base. It was spikes up.
Oh yes. And if you hung around the bag, more times than not, they'd park you in the outfield. There were some guys, I mean, the reputation of Don Baylor, great player, later became a manager. His reputation, Bill Madlock, who played with the Cubs, won 4 batting titles. That reputation was if you hang around the bag, it's going to shorten your career.
1 ball, 2 strikes count here to Montgomery. Drills this one down the line in right, but hooking foul. I love they mentioned Hank Aaron. Special day on this day back in 1975. Hank Aaron hit his 715th career home run, breaking Babe Ruth's record.
But by Tom House in left field at the old Fulton County Stadium.
That's right.
Al Downing on the mound. Some people felt Al laid one in, because now his name is forever linked with Hank Aaron.
Steve Stone would never do that.
No. I wasn't good enough to intentionally put a guy on base and then try to pitch around it too often. There's a young man, very happy.
Good battle here by Colson Montgomery. Ooh, watch out. Little shimmy shake to shake it off.
It's a 4-seamer. Wants it upstairs, not that far in, not that far up.
Murakami on at first with 1 out. Good take by Montgomery. Here's pitch number 50 in the ball game here for Bradish. Runner goes and fouled away.
Last inning, Bradish gave up 5 straight hits, and we wanted to know if that had ever happened to him, and it did back in 2023. 5 hits to San Francisco in the 3rd inning, but that was the only time ever until today.
Strike 3 called. They throw down. Murakami did not go. But on the strikeout, there are 2 outs here in this 3rd inning.
This has a whole lot of the plate, and then Rutschman decides for whatever reason that his middle infielders needed to play because Murakami wasn't running.
He faked the break, but shut it down pretty early. All right, Steve, I got to give you some credit because you said you felt like Andrew Benintendi was getting locked in, and a triple, and he scored his first time up.
And I also thought there'd be a lot more runs scored today than there was in the series just because of the temperatures. The hitters just feel better with temps like this.
What do you see in a hitter when you can tell that he's starting to square up the baseball or just starting to make better swings?
I'm looking for a couple things. One, I'm looking for how he takes pitches. Because if he takes pitches well, meaning he doesn't move his hands forward, he's seeing the pitcher. Benny's been doing that, taking pitches nicely. That's one of the things. Also, when he does get a pitch that's hittable, what does he do with it? Even if you foul it off, if you hit it hard, looks like you're starting to come around.
And then for him to show the legs and the wheels to dig out a triple.
It was a good read because his ball caromed off the side and went into right center field. He just kept on going.
Murakami goes. Benintendi on the strikeout. Gets away from Rutschman. The throw down will complete the strikeout and end this third inning. Yesterday, the White Sox got off to an early lead, but the Orioles came back. That two-run home run by.
So we'll take a look at the chase percentage and the percentage of strikes. The four-seamer chase percentage, not so much. You would expect that, but the knuckle curve, 36% chase percentage.
On a line to left, and Benintendi makes the adjustment and the grab to start the fourth.
That one started to accelerate. You expect line drives, most of them, to sink a bit. This one didn't, and Benny comes across, and Mountcastle has always had pretty good luck with Sean Burke, and what a play that was. Nice job.
Benny's tapped into the fountain of youth today. The legs are a little bouncy, a little springy out there in left field.
I think it has a lot to do with the temps. I mean, it's mid-30s, and it's hard to get older legs quite as loose as they were when you were in your mid-20s.
Fourth inning, tied at 2. This half inning is brought to you by Toyota. That one just missing down. So 3-0 count here to start against Dylan Beavers. Seems like a smoother motion from Sean Burke. He's a big guy, 6'5", so when you're that tall, things can get out of whack.
Beavers took 2 down the middle. I understand the 3-0 take, but 3-1 is one of the best hitting pitches there is. It's 2-0, 3-1. If you get in that count, it's going to be a problem, and the motion is very smooth. I think Sean's got a lot of confidence in his stuff.
There's Acuna, who's got to rush this throw, and he does get Beavers in time. Time now for the GovX hero of the game.
The Chicago White Sox and GovX are proud to honor our hero of the game. Today we pay tribute to Staff Sergeant Christopher Lockwood of the United States Army.
Staff Sergeant Christopher Lockwood, welcome to the ballpark. Thank you for your service. Sean Burke hoping for his first 1-2-3 inning here in this fourth.
Especially the 81 pitch mark to this point.
Popped up. It is Murakami fighting the wind, but stays with it. A 9-pitch inning for Sean Burke.
Food, he said a cheeseburger. He favors a smash burger. Also some sweet potato fries. He unplugs by going fishing, mostly freshwater. Loves going after bass. Off the activity, if you couldn't get hurt, deep sea scuba diving. He is a man of the sea.
How about that? All right, a ground out here to start this bottom of the fourth inning as Dustin Harris, just 26 years old. Spent the majority of the season last year in AAA. 19 games in the big leagues with Texas last year. And he's got some playing opportunity here with the White Sox because of some injuries.
And because he likes cheeseburgers, He should probably go visit the Bertucci boys at the patio because they delivered a couple of cheeseburgers before the game, and there was a lot of people that were hovering around the bag of cheeseburgers, but they're great cheeseburgers.
You calling me out?
Oh no, I would never put a tag on that. You and Chris Withers, you're looking like you're going to be executed tomorrow morning. But those are pretty good cheesies.
We both devoured our first double cheeseburger. Then we looked at each other, and without anybody saying a word, just went back in for number 2.
There's nothing like 2 double cheeseburgers.
Chopper off the plate to short. It is Henderson. And there's 2 away. This half inning is brought to you by Davis Law. Kyle Bradish has retired the last 5. After the White Sox got to him in the second, it was a big play in that second. That double play with the bases loaded limited the damage to only 2 runs.
Yeah, he's starting to get some better movement as he moves along, and he's still about to deliver pitch number 60, so he's got some room left. And after just 6 starts last year, and I talked with Ben McDonald, who's the analyst on television, he said those 6 starts, we felt he was completely back from what he was before the surgery. He said it's a little tougher go for him this year.
Reese McGuire with a single his first time up in the second inning. As the White Sox leaning on McGuire with Kyle Teel still on the injured list with that strained hamstring. Hate to see so many injuries already up and down the roster for the White Sox to start the season.
And the young guys that get injured, I mean, it's difficult for them to come back. It's easier to heal. And I talked with Teel a couple days ago, and he said a good sign he was hitting off a tee and felt no pain whatsoever. It was the first time that happened. So he's getting closer.
That'll do it for the 4th. White Sox and Orioles knotted up at 2 as the Sox looking for a win on this getaway day with Kansas City looming after today. Back inside the booth alongside Steve Stone, John Schriffen. Well, if you're just joining us, the big news of the day, opening day White Sox starter Shane Smith, he has been sent down to the minors to AAA to get back on track. As this one is grounded to third, Montgomery makes the play. Would love to just get your thoughts on the plan for Shane Smith going forward.
Well, I think the plan is to get him a little better location with his 4-seam fastball. We saw his last outing. He fanned 8. He walked 5. You can't live with leaving in the 4th inning and then you tax your bullpen. That was a big concern. But if they can get him to spot the 4-seamer, John, he can come back and be useful, because that stuff was overwhelming the other day. It's just that you keep leaving games early, and he's had 3 starts, hasn't made it out of the 4th inning yet. But the stuff is still very good, and this is a guy that still is a major league pitcher, was an all-star last year. He'll find it again, and when he does, he'll be right back here.
It was what Will Venable told us before the game today. He said what we're doing is just not sustainable. To put that much pressure on our bullpen guys, to require them to eat up so many innings, we had to make a move. And hopefully will not be a long stint in AAA for Shane Smith, as his last pitch is challenged.
The previous pitch was called a strike. The batter's challenging.
Again,
Call is
down.
confirmed. Baltimore has 1 challenge remaining.
It's hard to really tell pitches down or up. 54% overturned, 59% by the fielders. That's basically your catcher. Yep. 14 pitches all season long have been challenged by pitchers.
One out here in this 5th, 2-2 count to Gunnar Henderson. And that one is tapped foul. Just finishing on that Shane Smith conversation, the White Sox hope that he can make a couple starts in AAA, and a lot of the work will be between starts, fixing his delivery, adjusting the way he goes about his bullpens to be able to see if he can just get his delivery back on track so he's throwing strikes with the fastball.
Yeah, Will said there was a couple of mechanical things, but they're going to be working on a few different aspects of how to get the four-seamer in the zone consistently, and it all comes down, John, to repeatable motion. It's almost like a golf swing. The more you can repeat that exact swing, the better you're going to be. And with a pitcher, the more you can repeat your motion, the better your control is going to be.
Popped up, foul territory. McGuire. Ooh, the basket catch for out number 2.
It is so difficult to adjust to the wind here because you never really know how far the ball is going to drift. And Reese has a benefit of having played here before, so he kind of understands it, knowing that the ball is always going to rotate back toward the field of play. He stays right with it and uses the old basket catch.
When Will Venable told Shane Smith the news, it was in his office, and he said Shane understood the situation and actually handled it like a professional. He said, I know what I need to do and go down to fix. And the air to straightaway center. It is Peters underneath. Another nice inning from Sean Burke. Just 10 pitches to get out of the 5th.
Enjoy knowing the VOOC as much as you do the jingle at jeffvook.com, because Nationwide is on your side.
We start this home half of the 5th inning. This half inning is brought to you by Prevagen. It's the Canadian Tristan Peters will start things off, bottom of the order for the Sox. Really personable young man. Got a chance to sit down with him in his locker the other day. Said he started playing the game of baseball at 4 years old in a small town in Manitoba, Canada. And at 16 years old, to just get some better competition, moved 12 hours west to go to a baseball facility where he could really just hone things in and take his game to the next level. Played at community college in Arizona, then went to Southern Illinois for a year, had a really good season. And the Savannah Bananas actually scouted him to play on their team that summer. Pitch falls in there, strike one on Tristan Peters. He said the biggest thing I took away from the Savannah Bananas, he said it was before banana ball really took off, but he said they still had that fan first entertainment value. And he said what it really taught me was just have fun with the game. Pops this one up left side of the infield. It is Mayo with the wind taking it. And he makes the grab as Peters is retired. Time now for a message from Ankin Law.
Hey, Howard, I got hurt at work in the warehouse, and my boss doesn't believe me.
Ankin Law has over 100 attorneys and staff ready to work for you. If you've been hurt on the job, in a car accident, or suffered a medical mistake, call 312-6-million.
Chase Meidroth with one away here in this bottom of the 5th inning. So the first time through the batting order, the White Sox were 5 for 9 off Bradish. But he tightened things up the second time through. White Sox with just 1 hit that second time through the batting order.
The 5 hits ended with Peters on a beautiful bunt to the right side. Then the double play ground ball off Chase's bat. That one curtailed the rally. But it was a big inning against a very good pitcher in Bradish.
Much better weather here on the south side of Chicago today. First pitch yesterday was in the 30s, and it felt like it was in the teens. It was absolutely frigid.
No, it was a terrible day, and fortunately it was a day, and the Sox had the foresight to move it up 4 hours. And look, it wasn't all that comfortable, but much more comfortable than it would have been with a 6:40 start.
Pitch outside, ball 4 to Mydroth. That Sox walk is presented by IDOT. Stop for pedestrians. It's not a game.
We'll see if Chase can get a good read about the move of Bradish.
Murakami steps in, 1 for 2 today.
It was a real short lead, and one of the things, you really have to pick your spots with Murakami up, because this is a guy can hit a 2-run home run in the blink of an eye. Many times you don't want to take a guy off base ahead of him.
Murakami showed the hustle his last time up, digging out a single, busting it down the line at first. And air to left field. Ward backing up towards the line, and it's going to slice foul.
Tomorrow night, all 3 hometown teams take the stage. Live Bulls, Blackhawks, and White Sox action, all on Chicago Sports Network. With the CHSN app and all access plan, you can stream every game live, even at the same time, across 3 different devices. 3 teams, 1 stream-packed night. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead. That ball was fair by a wide margin, and then just disappeared foul down the line.
0-2. We have seen the good take skills by Murakami. Ranks in the 84th percentile in terms of chase percentage in Major League Baseball so far this season. He does not chase pitches, and he's in 87th percentile in terms of walk percentage. So he shows you the power, also the patience at the plate.
He's got just about as much power as anybody around.
2 balls, 2 strikes with Mydroth on at first. As Murakami able to get a piece and stay alive.
It looks like a slider that didn't do a great deal, and fortunately does not stick in Rutschman's glove.
Here's pitch number 80 for the starter, Kyle Bradish. Murakami doesn't even flinch with that thing out of the zone.
Now you got to really be heads up on the pickoff move to first base.
One away here in the bottom of the 5th, and the second throw over to Mydroth this at bat.
Yeah, and a 3-2 count, though, not going to matter very much in this situation. But he figured if he sends him, I'll just test him at first. Got back easily.
Extra step lead for Mydroth. There he goes, and the pitch out of the zone, ball 4. So back-to-back walks with 1 out here in the 5th inning, as Miguel Vargas walks to the plate.
Miguel has not seen Bradish very well. He's had 2 opportunities in the 1st and 3rd. Strikeout looking, strikeout swinging. But at least he has the ability to know how he was worked and then look for something in the zone now. So Drew French comes out.
extended conversation on the mound here as Willie Traynor goes out there to break it up. Although no movement yet.
No, but he's out there as long as he can because that bullpen is up. Left and right-hander. Wolfram and Suarez.
So double barrel action going for the Orioles. First pitch here to Vargas, missing down, ball 1. Vargas 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking and struck out swinging. And Bradish starting to lose his command here.
When you've had some trouble with a pitcher, as Vargas has with Bradish, you love when they fall behind.
Well hit left center field. Beavers at the warning track will make the grab. Maidra thought about tagging, but will go back to the bag at second.
Wasn't a good base running play, and Chase knows that. You certainly want to score, but if this gets over Beaver's head, you're going to score anyway. And Chase has to tag up on this. He's got to be standing at third base. He doesn't have enough time to get back to the bag and then take off. Again, if it does go over Beaver's head, he's going to score easily if he's closer to the bag, and now he stays there. Not as damaging, by the way, with 2 outs as it would have been with no or 1 out.
So it's up to Colson Montgomery to get it done and try and break this tie in the 5th inning. Montgomery unloads, but yanks it foul. Colson also 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. You can hear just how hard the wind is whipping through the ballpark here at the rate right now.
That was a nice stop by Rutschman as he made sure that there was no advancement, and the wind just keeps getting stronger.
One ball, 1 strike to count here to Montgomery. Lays off the breaking ball, ball 2.
Pitch number 88 on the way, and you would think this would be it for Bradish.
Benintendi waits on deck here with 2 outs. Drop at second, Murakami at first with 2 outs. The pitch on the way. Out of the zone, ball 3.
Good take, because Colson has been swinging a lot of high fastballs, and that would have ended the at bat. Instead, the runners will be going, which is a big advantage.
The payoff pitch. Inside, and 3 walks have loaded the bases here in the 5th inning. The ball gets passed. Here comes Maidra, and now it's thrown away by Bradish. Murakami to third, Montgomery to second, and the Sox are taking advantages of mistakes But we may have a challenge by the Orioles with that throw to second.
One way or the other, the Sox are going to take the lead. And Meidroth with some big hustle. We'll watch it again. Well, Bradish was so unhappy with himself over the last pitch that he cost himself a run. It helps when you're looking at the baseball. He wasn't. Looks in the glove, no ball. And Chase Meidroth with a great bit of base running.
Mr. Cali Cool sneaks home. How often do you see a play like that?
Almost never.
Where a pitcher just casually doesn't catch the baseball, but Meidroth alert at third. So Montgomery stays at second, 2 down.
And one of the things that any of these mental coaches that all teams have at this point, they will tell you, be present in the moment. Understand the moment. And that time he was so unhappy with the last call and the last pitch that he didn't understand the moment. That was a nice block by Rutschman.
And it ended up as 2 errors. It was 1 error on the catch where he didn't catch the ball, which allowed Meidroth to score. Another error by Bradish on the throw, which allowed both runners to advance. Two-one here to Benny. And this has been the story with the Orioles. Defensive mistakes, been a little sloppy to start the season.
Well, they've been, if not the worst, among the worst defensively in all of baseball heading into this series. They tightened it up a bit in this series, but still that's a cause for concern.
2-2. Now you got to wonder, how long will the Orioles stay with Bradish? He has walked 3 already in this 5th inning.
One way or the other, this is going to be his last inning. Now he might not make it through if Benny comes through with a base hit. But pitch number 96 on the way, and I don't think they want to take him any deeper in this.
3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. But this is how the Sox broke the tie. Bradish, careless. Meidroth, oh, he's on top of it. Comes home to score. Sox lead it 3-2 after 5. Yeah. With a 3-2 lead, this half inning is brought to you by Elgin Hyundai.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game is Lucas Sims. He threw in the first game through a couple of innings with a hit and 2 strikeouts. And this is his 3rd appearance. Given up nothing yet.
I mean, you go back to spring training, what were the points of emphasis from Will Venable? Bunting, trying to play small ball and taking extra bases, being alert, seeing what the defense will give you.
Yeah, it's that kind of awareness that not every player has, but the guys that do really stand out. And for Meidroth, you got to be looking intensely at that seemingly meaningless throw from a catcher to the pitcher. As soon as it got away, he was off to the races. Number one, Bradish didn't know right away, didn't catch the ball. And number two, he didn't know that Meidroth would be running.
Swing and a miss on Adley Rutschman. Let's go to Brooke for more on Chase Meidroth.
And guys, that sort of awareness is why Will Venable has so much confidence with him at the top of the order. He called him one of their most competitive players, someone who's really just embraced setting the tone. And right now he's doing exactly just that. Take a look at what he's been able to do over the last 3 games. His ability to get on base, just leading in so many categories, and that's why they love him in that spot.
He's just an exciting player. We love how he plays the game. Always have his dirty jersey, but he was very mature in his offseason approach, understanding how his body started to break down towards the end of last year. So he said, I'm going to focus on my body, see a specialist, open up my hips, get a little stronger, get in the weight room, because I want to be on the field for most of the games here in 2026.
Well, I think he will have accomplished that. And the dugout, very happy with that. And Chase ecstatic.
You need that, right? You need that fire, that energy, somebody to lift the team when the game is tied at 2. Liner to center field as Peters will cut it off. Alonso going to second as Pete Alonso, a 1-out double here in this 6th inning.
This is a breaking ball away. It's not a bad pitch. But Alonso, who has tremendous power, drives this ball hard into left center field. That's his first hit of the series. Suarez and Wells loosening in the pen. Baltimore will undoubtedly make a change.
So with the lead, the game now in the hands of the bullpen for the White Sox. Sean Burke going 5. What did you think of his outing today?
Well, he actually pitched a no-hitter and a 2-hitter to Ward, because Ward got both of the hits. You go through 5, you give up 2 hits, that's really good. I thought he battled him today. I didn't think he had the kind of stuff he had last time out when he had an opener, but the stuff was good enough to get him through. His concentration got better, and he walked one guy in the 2nd, one guy in the 3rd, and didn't walk anybody else after that. So I thought, all in all, this was a very positive performance by Sean Burke.
The other thing that was really impressive about Burke, with his pitch count getting up there, he knew he needed to give some length. 9 pitches in the 4th, 10 pitches in the 5th to get those 2 extra innings and save the bullpen. And on the hands, it is Acuna, bobbles, and will have no throw to get Tyler O'Neill at first.
We'll see how this one is scored. It scored a hit as Acuna has to go to his right. He's in the hole. If he catches it, he probably has gotten him, but you see the unusual attempt at a backhand, and that ball was kind of in the middle of his body as he moved to his right.
So back-to-back hits for the Orioles. As Lucas Sims would love to get a ground ball here from Ryan Mountcastle. These are the kind of games we have seen in each of the first 2 games of this series against the Orioles. Low scoring, tight score, and up to the bullpen to see who can execute later in the ball game. As the first 3 have missed here to Mountcastle.
Hudson warming up in the Sox pen. With Beavers in the on-deck circle, if Hudson does come in, we're probably going to see the right-handed option to Beavers.
A 4-pitch walk.
Tonight at 5:30, catch the Charlotte Knights in action as they take on the Memphis Redbirds. Watch White Sox top prospect Noah Schultz take the mound for Charlotte. Stream it live on the CHSN app or CHSN.com. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead. And Will is going to go to the pen. he walks out, we'll step up.
Sox in the second.
And then Acuna with a solid single. Drives home the second run.
Taylor Ward an RBI double in the third inning as the Orioles, they tie up the game at 2 apiece in the third.
Adley Rutschman comes through with a ground ball, and Chase Mydroth on that mental mistake scores a run and then gives us a full Gene Simmons. That new pitcher in the ballgame, Brian Hudson, on for the 5th time, ERA of 4.5. He inherits bases full of Orioles.
Beavers stays in the game. That one in for a strike. 1-1 the count. It was Pete Alonso with a double, O'Neill with a single, and Mountcastle with a walk on at first. Loading the bases for the Orioles here in the 6th inning. A huge spot in the ball game as the White Sox retook the lead back in the 5th inning. One, two. One out here in the 6th inning. And that one gets past Reese McGuire. Here comes Alonso. He scores, and the game is tied at 3.
I would assume that's going to go as a pass ball. We'll watch it again. It is indeed a pass ball. Run scores, the other two move up, and it's a tie game once again.
Three-two. In the air, Beavers. Plenty deep to right field as O'Neill is tagging at third. He will come in to score, and just like that, the Orioles take their first lead of the ball game, 4-3.
Beavers does what he's supposed to do, find some way to get the run home, and his manager showed the confidence to leave him in lefty-lefty, and he drives in his 5th run of the year.
White Sox with the momentum with that huge hustle play from Mydroth, and then the Orioles rip it right back here to start this 6th inning.
We're going to look at this one again.
Strike, the batter's challenging.
It did.
Call is confirmed. The pitch is a strike. Baltimore is out of challenges.
They're fresh out of challenges. Again, missing down, missing up. That's going to happen, even to the best of hitters.
We'll say the umpiring has been very good this entire series.
I thought it's been terrific.
0-2. Hudson trying to get the third out. Slash into right field. Harris breaking in hard will get there to end this top of the 6th. But the Orioles score 2 and take the lead.
At Bank, love where you bank. A new pitcher in the ball game, Tyler Wells, on for the 6th time. ERA a touch over 4.
Well, Dustin Harris has had a couple quick at bats. One pitch, both times up at the plate. Single in the 2nd, ground out in the 4th.
In the first game of the series, we saw Wells for 3 innings. Gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 3, and no runs.
Dustin Harris drove in the first run of the game back in the second inning. Much needed relief in the outfield because we got the news earlier this week. Brooks Baldwin, he will be out for the year, elected UCL surgery on his throwing elbow. Austin Hayes is on the injured list as he tweaked his hamstring earlier this week. Everson Pereira also on the injured list, but he's closer to coming back with that ankle injury.
Nice job of laying off that one because it looked like a strike for a while before floating just maybe off the plate. Then again, maybe not.
(3-1). He did not offer ball 4. Are you ready for your winning moment? Find it at Wind Creek Chicago Southland, where the action never stops. Play the hottest table games, enjoy the newest slots, and celebrate big jackpots. At Wind Creek, there's a win waiting for you around every corner.
After giving up the lead, this is a nice way to start off the 6th inning.
Luis Angel Acuna, 1 for 2 today. As Mayo playing very close in on the grass at third.
And normally in this situation, if you do lay down a bunt, you shouldn't be bunting to third base anyway. You should be push bunting up the right side, because the pitcher certainly won't have a play at second, and more times than not the first baseman will take the play at first.
Join us at the ballpark on Saturday, April 25th for Sox Crawl presented by Blue Moon. You can enjoy an exclusive pregame crawl inside the stadium. Got special $5 menu items, entertainment, and more. Plus, you can receive this, a 90 City Connect jacket presented by Miller Lite. Now, fans must be 21 years and older to attend. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/SoxCrawl. And the best part about that, if you get a ticket to Sox Crawl, you are guaranteed to get the giveaway before everyone else comes in and the gates are open.
And that's a beautiful jacket. That's going to be highly desirable.
Runner goes, throw down to second, offline. Second stolen base today for Dustin Harris.
Well, the funny part about this was Alexander was pointing to the dugout. Hey, take a look at this. So let's see what they decide to do. And yes, they are going to take a look at it.
Hard to tell where the tag was applied from that angle. Here's a better look at it.
This looks a little closer, and also his lead foot was in good position, but then the lead foot went up in the air. Alexander, for one, believes that he got him.
All right, this is a Northwestern Medicine Manager's Challenge. We're taking a second look at the play. It's always a good idea to get a second opinion. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine. Called safe on the field. So let's see if we do see indisputable evidence to overturn it. It appeared at the first attempt on that swipe tag that Alexander missed. Everybody looking at the big screen here at the rate as the command center in New York City taking every look that they have to review this play. All right, Steve, walk us through this.
The front foot is there. The question now becomes, did it lift up? Did he keep it on the bag? From that angle, becomes a lot tougher to say he was in before the bag was tagged, but
this one feels like a call stands kind of a review.
But no definitive proof. They're not saying that he didn't get him. They're not saying necessarily he did, but
after review,
we'll see.
Call on the field stands. The runner
That's
is safe.
it.
Yeah.
Baltimore loses their challenge.
Just didn't have a view that said yes or no either way.
Well, now you have to play a game like the old days. No hitter or catcher can make an appeal, and they're out of challenges.
He didn't get the lead leg with the tag.
No, I mean he actually beat the ball to the bag. The question was, did he come off the bag?
So the tying run now in scoring position for the Sox, as Acuna has already driven in one today. 2-2. Goes down swinging, strike 3. MLB Plus is new for 2026. You can stream MLB Network 24/7 in the United States and select out-of-market games every week. Plus, you get live radio broadcasts of every game, Game Day 3D, Big Inning, and minor league action. So Reese McGuire to the plate, trying to make up for the pass ball.
He had the 4th of 5 hits in a row in this second inning of Bradish. It hit him.
And that did hit him. So Reese McGuire will trot to first as we take a look.
Tries to throw this fastball inside, and it got just a piece of the back elbow. It got him.
Fastball catches the corner. Strike 1 to Tristan Peters. Had a bunt single in the second inning. I asked him, what do you look for when you stand up to the plate and read the defense? He said, first thing, you got to pick up the third baseman. Where are they playing? If he's playing back, he said, it's almost like they're giving you a free hit and you have to drop it down.
Same thing with the first baseman. I mean, he dragged the bunt with him last when he got the hit, because he noticed that Mountcastle was back at first. So they're going to take it away at third, but give it to you at first. If you have the ability to drag it, it's a perfect play, and he would bunt it right at the second baseman, so it pulls the first baseman off the bag.
He said the other thing he looks for, the pitcher. He said he wants to watch the pitcher and see, how does he fall off the mound? Is it to the left? Is it to the right? And if he's falling off the mound hard, that means he's not able to recover if I drop something down.
Well, they're going to fall off to the glove side. If they fall up to the other side, they've lost their balance.
Popped up foul territory. It is Mayo, tipped off his glove and foul.
It was a nice effort, but it wasn't popped up very high, and Mayo couldn't get to it. He sees exactly where he is and realizes that he has cleared the tarp, and then the net saves him.
It's about there when he realized he was running out of real estate. You got to go into safety mode. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Peters. And grounded foul.
Mountcastle was still very close to the line. That wouldn't have gotten between him and the bag.
This will be pitch number 20 for the reliever Tyler Wells here in this 6th inning. Into center field. It is Beavers now coming in as the runners stay put with 2 outs here in this 6th inning. Top of the order, it was Chase Meidroth with the heady play back in the 5th inning to score on that ball that went off the glove of Bradish. Now let's see if he can drive in the tying run here in the 6th.
Right field.
Early time taken by Meidroth. Spanked to center field, backing up his Beavers as he makes the grab shy of the wall to end this 6th inning.
A new pitcher in the game, it is Sean Newcomb. On for the 6th time, his ERA a tick under 5. He has thrown a bit better than that. We'll see if he can keep it right there at a 1-run deficit. Chase rate very good at 32.8%.
Blaze Alexander swings at the first one. Montgomery calmly stacks it, makes the throw. And now a trip down on the farm. We check in with Connor.
All right, John, last year's #1 pick for the White Sox, Billy Carlson's off to a very good start. Hits in each of his first 5 games, the affiliated level. You've also got Gerald Perez off to a very good start at AA Birmingham. The Knights had 2 for 4 evenings from Sam Antonacci and William Bergoya Jr., both of them last night, as they're off to a very good start. Antonacci has started on an 8-game hitting streak this year.
And how cool is it? After this game, the AAA Charlotte Knights will be on CHSN. Get a look at Noah Schultz. The knee is healthy. He is back on track. His mechanics are on track. He actually even grew from last year. His stuff is electric right now.
Well, we have that in common. I mean, we both grew a little from last year. Only he seemingly got taller. The stuff is really good. He's thrown in the high 90s, and now that he feels 100%, they got the big 3. Smith, McDougal, Schultz, all primed and ready, and eventually they will be here. Not all together, certainly, but it's promising that you might have a good solid 60% of a starting rotation sitting there pretty close to coming up. Tonight at 5:30, catch the Charlotte Knights in action as they take on the Memphis Redbirds. Watch White Sox top prospect Noah Schultz take them on for Charlotte. Stream it live on the CHSN app or CHSN.com. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead.
Big fastball, blew it by Henderson, out number 2.
Some high heat. There is the grip, and he throws it right by him. Sean was given an opportunity to stretch out in the spring, compete for a starting job. They feel the team is better with him in the pen for the moment. He's got good stuff, throws a lot of strikes, and can give you multiple innings, which is really desirable in this era of baseball.
That's a fair ball into left field, as Taylor Ward will pick up his 3rd hit today, looking for 2. And he will end up at second with 2 outs.
If this throw is on the money, they got a chance to get him. This is a breaking ball down and out over the plate, and the 3rd hit of the day for Ward. Then he gets to it, but he didn't have a chance to set himself, and the one hopper to Acuna, he can't handle it.
8th double already this season. That leads Major League Baseball.
Previous pitch was called the ball. The catcher's challenge.
Ooh.
Ball's overturned. The pitch was a strike. Chicago retains its challenge.
So a successful challenge by Reese McGuire.
Nice call. That had a whole lot of the plate.
White Sox with both of their challenges remaining. Orioles are out of theirs to finish out this game.
Wolfram is back up in the O's pen.
Adley Rutschman 0 for 3, a couple strikeouts today. Good pitch from Newcomb as he strands that runner at second. Sox down 1, the big bat.
Free trial today at subscribe.chsn.com. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead. Grant Wolfram comes on for the 5th time, ERA of 4.5. Strikeout percentage is up there. Walk percentage is non-existent.
Murakami fouls off the first pitch as the White Sox start this home half of the 7th, down 1. The Orioles taking the first 2 games of this 3-game series. As Baltimore has now won the last 8 games in a row against the White Sox dating back to the start of last year. 0-2. Murakami trying to start something here in the 7th inning. Lays off, ball 2. Two. Got him upstairs. Strike 3. Welcome back inside the booth alongside Steve Stone, John Schriff, and the White Sox scoring 2 runs in the 2nd inning, 1 in the 5th. That's been the story. The first 5 innings, the White Sox getting on the board, trying to find some runs here late.
Well, it'd be a good thing to come back late in this one. You salvage 1 win in the series, but right now the Sox have not played their better games of the year. This one, make some mistakes, and the Orioles are a good team despite their slow start, but they're going to be in contention all year long, I believe.
Tapper put in play. It's going to be a tough one, and Miguel Vargas. An infield single, his first hit of the ball game.
As soon as this one gets by the pitcher, you got no chance, and pitchers will fall off to the third base side if they're left-handed. And as he drifts off the mound, no chance to even think about making that play.
Big rip from Colson Montgomery, fouling back the first one.
Hicks and Taylor in the bullpen, and Nunez in the O's pen.
As Colson Montgomery is plunked with 1 out here in the 7th.
Tries to throw a slider, but it slips out of his hand and catches him high on the shoulder.
So a pinch hitter at the plate. It'll be Derek Hill batting for Andrew Benintendi.
See how far back Mayo gets at third base, because the Orioles know that Hill can and will lay down a bunt.
Just ask Tyler Heineman.
Yeah.
There is the bunt. It's a foul ball.
This was a nice idea, and he was trying for a push bunt up the right side with a left-hander on the mound. Rutschman wants it to be in fair territory, but this ball actually spins back a bit. And right away, Willie Traynor says, nope, it's a foul ball.
Mayo playing even with the bag at third. On the ground. This could be two. One at second, over to first, and they got him. Double play turn to end the seventh. And there'll be no challenge by the White Sox.
Good solid throw across, and he just barely gets him, but does get him by a half step. So it's out of the inning. Orioles still lead by a run.
Home game and more. To learn more, visit whitesox.com/play.
Jordan Hicks comes on for the 6th time. His ERA, well, it's early.
One pitch gets the grounder to short, and Acuna will retire Pete Alonso. Derek Hill, who came in the game to pinch hit, will stay in and play left for Benintendi. All right, how about the pitching matchup going on right now north of the border in Toronto? Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers against Dylan Cease for the Blue Jays. That's a 1-1 game now as they go to the bottom of the 5th inning, as the Dodgers are trying to complete the sweep in that series.
And Ohtani lost his scoreless streak.
He did.
It was 22+ innings going back to last season. There was a time when a lot of folks thought he wouldn't give up a run this year. But he's got unbelievably good stuff for a guy who can hit like that.
It's amazing what he has. He had that scoreless streak that was snapped on the mound. He also had that career best 42-game on base streak heading into the ball game at the plate. The fact that he can do it both ways is just unbelievable.
Well, you truly are watching the latter day Babe Ruth. One of the big differences, Babe Ruth won 94 games. I don't know if Ohtani's going to quite get there. But Babe Ruth was hitting more home runs than some entire teams in his era. It was astonishing what he was able to accomplish. However, the great skills of Ohtani in just about every aspect, and I have no doubt he could play the field if they ask him to do that, because he's a wonderful athlete and a base stealer at that size of man.
So now the longest scoreless streak in baseball on the mound goes to Mason Miller. Miller now 25 2/3 innings. That started back to last year. He also has 4 scoreless appearances already to start the year.
Time now for the upcoming schedule presented by Toyota. Let's go places, and the place we're going to go is Kansas City for a 4-game series, then an off day on Monday. Tampa Bay comes to town, and then we head to Sacramento on the 17th.
Did you pack your rain boots for Kansas City?
My umbrella? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a little damp for the 4 games, but I would assume we're going to get the game in. And the big advantage is we do go back there again. So if they decide that one is not going to be playable, you don't necessarily have to play a doubleheader this trip in, but they probably would use that as an option, again, depending on the weather.
Jordan Hicks, the flamethrower. One out with 1 on here in this 8th inning.
And the Royals will head back to Kansas City to greet us in the 4-game series after a severe pounding by the Guardians today. Guardians beat them 10-2.
Ooh. One ball, 2 strikes the count here to Ryan Mountcastle. Guardians improved to now 8-5, first place in the AL Central. Twins sitting in second at 5-6. On the ground, it is my drop. The dive gets one at second. Acuna not in time at first. A good effort there as the Sox get one.
The memorable moment presented by Prevagen. Just a fine play. If this gets through, it's big trouble this inning. Came about a step or so away from turning 2 and out of the inning, but good hustle by a guy not known for great speed. So that's going to be it for Hicks. He will depart and will step out.
Back, Tyler Schweitzer making his MLB debut, and how he found out is actually a really funny story. He was supposed to start in AAA last night, but got scratched after being told he needed a drug test, which even he thought was a little unusual with the timing. So he heads to the training room, and that's where Chad Pinder is waiting for him and asks him, hey, how many innings can you go tonight? And he said, well, I can go 5 or however many innings you need me to. And Pinder's response was, well, how about you go 5 innings in Chicago? And from there, it was a quick turnaround, grabbed his stuff, got to the airport, and was on a flight last night. But the first call he made, guys, was to his wife. And like I said earlier, she's here, and along with plenty of other family members.
Congratulations to Tyler Schweitzer, the 25-year-old on the mound.
Something he's going to always remember is this at bat.
Bases Dylan Beavers fouls that one off. 2 balls and a strike. Schweitzer, a 5th-round pick back in 2022. Reached AAA level at the end of last season. Did not go that well, but had a good start to the year this year. That's why he got the call-up. According to MLB Pipeline, he is the 23rd ranked prospect in the White Sox minor league organization. A challenge by McGuire behind the plate. It was called a ball.
The previous pitch was called the ball. The catcher is challenging.
Well, this is fortunate. As you can see, it just barely catches it. But
overturn the pitch to the strike. Chicago retains its challenge.
the fact is, the Sox still have a challenge. They've got 2. The Orioles have none. Comes in handy sometime. Real handy with that pitch. Nice call by Reese McGuire.
So Beavers back in the box. The count is now full. Schweitzer deals and misses ball 4. Now it was his turn to pitch in the rotation in AAA. He was pulled because the White Sox obviously had a need for him with Shane Smith being sent down. Will Venable would not address Shane Smith's spot in the rotation. They're going to leave it open right now. When it comes back up again, the White Sox will determine what they're going to do with that spot, whether it be a bullpen day or call up another starter.
Mayo has not had a good series, but he's been waiting to face that left-hander. He hasn't done a whole lot of that in this series.
Hard to believe Orioles are still one of 2 teams in Major League Baseball who have not faced a lefty starter.
That's pretty amazing. As they're 12 or maybe 13 games into the season and still no left-handed starters.
That pitch just diving off the table. Schweitzer a strike away from getting out of this jam. 1st and 2nd, 2 outs in the 8th.
You're not seeing the spin very well right now because of the shadows as they crept across home plate. But a good time for a hard breaking ball. Again, if you can't pick up the spin, you don't know it's a curve or slider.
1-2 pitch. And it's fouled off by Mayo.
That was a slider that he fouled off his own anatomy.
Mayo taking his time as he walks off the pane.
Oof. Off the inside of the calf. And he's still feeling the effects of it.
What are you throwing here, knowing that he's got a little gimp to his step on that lead left leg?
Same as the last pitch. Only I think I'd bury it a little bit more. You go after the slider down and out of the zone. And take your chances.
2 outs here in this 8th inning. 1-2 pitch. Popped up into shallow right field. Harris coming in now at center field. The wind just swirling that ball as Peters grabs it. Nice job by Tyler.
Better his hobbies outside of baseball. He's a big-time video game player. Yes, he plays MLB The Show. Yes, he has a White Sox franchise. And no, he wouldn't tell me who he's traded so far. He Googled the USA Today crossword answers, but only after finishing the whole thing. He was just checking some things. And if he wasn't a baseball player, he says he'd be an accountant, probably at one of the 4 major firms. Guys, a double major at Ball State in both accounting and economics, which means I'm going to him for tax advice.
Not a bad choice of a career if you weren't a baseball player, because no end of customers as they come around every year.
It is about that time.
We get a new pitcher, Anthony Nunez, on for the 5th time. We've seen him in the series. His ERA very, very good at 3.38.
Ground ball to short. It is Henderson, and he just does get Dustin Harris for out number 1. And some defensive changes for the Orioles. Jeremiah Jackson enters the game. He plays second. Blaze Alexander moves from second to third, and Leody Taveras enters the game defensively in center field.
You may remember Taveras from his days with the Rangers. Alexander can play anywhere, and we've seen Jeremiah Jackson in the first 2 games at second base.
Acuna pops up the bunt, and it will roll foul, touched by Alexander.
Pretty good idea, but when that one was popped into the air, it actually had more spin on it, landed on the grass, but the only play at third base was let it go. So Alexander, who's a guy who can play anywhere, made the right choice because he had no other play.
Acuna 1 for 3 today. Chopper to third as Alexander was playing in. And there's 2 retired. It's time now for a preview of White Sox postgame live presented by Yingling. We check in with Chuck and Ozzie.
Ozzie, the White Sox have 3 runs on the board. They've had chances to score more. Unfortunately, they're trailing. How do they come back in this game?
Wow, they had to get better at bats. You know what I mean? It's just still struggle offensively. Hopefully the next couple inning and third, they come back and put this team better.
All right, we are hoping for a comeback win. We'll see you on the postgame show.
I feel like we've been saying that a lot this series against the Orioles. White Sox have had leads, losing them late, trying to come back with 2 outs here in this bottom of the 8th.
Some teams just are much more difficult to beat than others, and it doesn't necessarily make them a better or worse team than the team that you can dominate. Illustration, 3 against Toronto, a very good team. Baltimore comes in struggling, and they've got the lead in the 3rd, looking for the sweep.
The Orioles swept this series last season against the White Sox and have won the first 2 here, winning 8 in a row. Reese McGuire has been on base twice with a single and hit by a pitch his last time up in the 6th.
He's looking for a hittable pitch at 3-1 and fouled it straight back. Sir Anthony Dominguez throwing in the Sox pen.
We will go to the 9th. It's the Sox down 1.
Welcome back. Tyler Schweitzer back on the mound, and I'm here with his entire family, his wife Alyssa, mom Susan, uncle Andy. Alyssa, this has been a crazy week for you. You just announced that you were pregnant this week, and now your husband is making his MLB debut. Take me through how you're feeling right now.
I mean, I'm just so excited and so proud of him. Obviously, with him making his debut and then us announcing that we're having a baby boy in September, I just couldn't be more happy.
He said you were the first person that he called. Take me through what your reaction was, because the way he told us and how it unfolded, it was awesome.
Yes, so he called me and he just said, so you're not going to work tomorrow. So, I mean, I was jumping up and down, screaming on the phone, crying, and it was just an amazing experience.
Susan, who's more nervous right now, you or Tyler?
I would have to probably say me. Tyler's got nerves of steel. He's had it his whole life. He gets out there, stays totally focused on the game. But me, his sister, and all of us, it is nerves. And yes.
Just take us through how you're reflecting on this moment, considering how you saw his journey and what it took to get to this point.
Well, he is definitely a fighter. He's been in baseball obviously his whole life, with travel baseball and so forth, but it was probably his state performance. He came in as the closer and won that game, then went on to Ball State in college, earned his position there, started as a reliever, got into the starting position, got MAC Pitcher of the Year that year, and then got drafted his junior year, and every year in the minors just kept moving up, and now he's here for his debut, and we are just so happy for him.
Well, you guys are in Indiana, so you guys drove around 3 hours to get here. Andy, how many people do we have on the Tyler Schweitzer crew here?
I'm guessing, what, 15, 20 of us? Yeah, 15 or 20.
Just scattered throughout the ballpark, or right? Okay. Who else do we have?
So I've got my daughter Lainey here, sister, Tyler's wife. We've got Tyler's best men and all the people from his wedding. We got Tyler's, what would that be, his uncle, his other uncles here.
His sister.
Yeah, his sister. It's hard to track. We're just on adrenaline right now.
Guys, well, what an incredible opportunity for you guys just to be able to drive here and watch him make his debut. We're so happy for you. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, back to you.
All right, Brooke, always love when the family gets a chance to be in the house and experience what it's like to see their loved one, Tyler Schweitzer, make his big league debut. trying to get a hold here as he gave up a 1-out double to Gunnar Henderson. That's the 6th hit the Orioles have come up with in the ball game. 4 of them doubles. This one in the air to left. It is Hill, unable to get there. It'll go off the Wintrust sign. Henderson will score back-to-back doubles. And the Orioles now take a 5-3 lead here in the 9th.
Just a huge day for Ward. He gets a cutter out over the plate. His 3rd double. He's driven in a pair. He's scored 1 to this point. Just barely over the glove of Hill. And another run.
Remember the brawl we showed earlier in the ball game that happened last night in Anaheim between the Braves and the Angels? As this one is lifted in the air, foul territory, right field line. Harris making the grab, and there's 2 down. So suspensions have been handed out. Ronaldo Lopez has been, and Jorge Soler, both given 7-game suspensions. But Jorge Soler actually appealed his suspension, so he's able to play through the appeal and hitting a home run already in the ball game today for the Angels. Jorge Soler.
And I think what happens a lot is pitchers, especially if they're starting pitchers, don't mind taking it right away because you're going to miss like a half a start and you get a couple extra days off. So it's something that most pitchers would do, not appeal it. When you do appeal it, more times than not, they take off 1 game. Doesn't matter how many you've got, we're going to take off 1. Nice appeal.
There is video of Jorge Soler charging the mound.
Oh yeah, I mean,
throwing some bombs.
Our Lopi did not charge him.
No.
He just stood there and waited for him to arrive. So, but it was one of the better ones you'll see.
Yeah.
Few too many punches thrown. And Walt Weiss with the MVP.
How about the spear? Good fastball there from Schweitzer. Gets it by Pete Alonso for strike 2. White Sox had a 3-2 lead heading into the top of the 6th inning when the Orioles scored 2 to take their first lead of the game. Adding another here in the 9th to make it 5-3. Two pitch. First big league strikeout for Tyler Schweitzer. Yeah, let's save that baseball.
The White Sox are gonna walk it off in the 9th.
It's the last word, the closing act, the final step, the whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish.
Let's go! The White Sox walk it off in the 10th. That's how you celebrate a home opener.
Well, the White Sox already with 1 walk-off. That was to start this homestand by Tristan Peters. And he will lead things off here in the bottom of the 9th with the Sox down 2.
And they are in at the corners, as they will be probably for the rest of this year. Got a new pitcher, Rico Garcia, on for the 6th time. And as you can see, 0.00. This is a good time to tack on a couple of runs and at least leave him with an ERA heading out of Chicago.
Rico Garcia has been one of the best relievers in baseball. We saw him on Mondays through a scoreless 8th inning with a strikeout. He has yet to allow a single hit in a career best 5 straight outings to start the year. but a walk to start this ninth. Sox fans enter for a chance to win a 2026 Santa Fe Hybrid. That is courtesy of Hyundai. And support the White Sox charities in the process. You can get your tickets at whitesox.com/SoxCar. It is valid for Illinois residents 18 and over. Steve, that is a hot vehicle. I like that.
That's really nice looking, and MSRP 51 plus. I would say they probably know who you're rooting for if you're driving around town in that.
So with the walk to Peters, tying run to the plate is Chase Mydroff.
And although Chase would probably love to hit a fastball right here, I'm thinking at least take one. You got a guy, a very good pitcher, having some command issues.
And Garcia having trouble finding the strike zone.
Well, in Hollywood, this would be another walk. And Murakami comes up and it's a blast. And we go to Kansas City laughing and smiling. Well, they're 3/4 of the way there to that second walk. And Murakami is in the on deck circle, waiting and raring to go.
.30. Mydroff taking all the way. So Garcia battling back in this count after falling behind 3-0. Nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth. 3-2. It is held on by Rutschman. Strike 3.
Battles back from 3-0 and throws 97 on the outside corner. That's his four-seam fastball. Stuck in a glove.
Munetaka Murakami. A chance to tie it with a blast. He did not go around. Mike Estabrook on the call at third. Big swing.
They both look like splitters. They both dove down in the zone.
Steve, you can see why Rico Garcia has not given up a hit yet this season.
The stuff's pretty good. And that was a big comeback against Mydroff. He puts him on, and there's some big problems for the Orioles.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think for Garcia, it's not only that it's 97, it's that there's some deception with his arm action. I don't think hitters pick up the ball very well, and 97 can look like 102 if you can hide the baseball a little bit longer.
And then you add in the shadows right now. Advantage pitcher. 1-2. Back-to-back strikeouts, and the Sox down to their final out of the ball game.
Big disparity, 10 miles an hour. That's a changeup, not a splitter, although he does have his fingers well apart. A good change and a very good motion. That's the key to a change. Same arm velocity as you have on your fastball.
Last chance, Miguel Vargas. Comes up empty there, strike one. Vargas 1 for 4, singling his last time up in the 7th. Tristan Peters led off this 9th with a walk, but his run means nothing. One. 1. A late strike call, and the Sox down to their final strike of the ball game. Two outs, bottom of the 9th, the 2-2 to Vargas. Missing off the edge, and it's now full. A big bopper. Colson Montgomery waits on deck. Will he get a chance? 3-2. Ball 4. And Colson Montgomery steps up to the plate.
That one well wide of the plate. And a good eye by Miguel Vargas. So he represents the tying run. And Colson Montgomery's going to represent the winning run. But first, Lou French comes out. He wants a word on the scouting report on Montgomery.
Also time for the bullpen to get up and throwing for the Orioles.
Well, we can only hope he's getting ready for the next game they play. And that this one can end here, but the visibility isn't great. And Garcia doesn't have great command today.
Garcia's given up 2 walks. He also has 2 strikeouts here in this 9th. As the last chance for the Sox, it's up to Colson Montgomery. First pitch. Grounded to second. It is Jackson. And that'll do it. Rico Garcia still has not given up a base hit to start his season. And the Orioles come from behind to win it 5-3 and will sweep the White Sox here in Chicago.
This has always been a trouble team for the Sox, and now it's on to Kansas City. Another tough one. They played some pretty steady baseball for a bit. There was a couple mistakes that certainly didn't help out today. But you put this one in the rearview mirror, which is where it belongs, and we'll take a look at the Royals tomorrow. So fly safely. But I'll be flying with you, so you fly really safely.
You're the best. For Brooke Fletcher, Connor McKnight, my guy Steve Stone, I'm John Schriff, and we appreciate you spending your Wednesday afternoon with us here at the ballpark. It is a fine